Hi guys! So in today's video I thought it would be interesting to share with you the types of CNA preceptors that I have encountered in my 5 years being a CNA. So if you guys are curious what a CNA preceptor is, or if you don't know, a CNA preceptor is basically just somebody who, when you are a new CNA at a facility or a new CNA in general, they're like your trainer. So they give you kind of what you're supposed to be doing during your shift on a day-to-day basis, and they just kind of keep you informed, or they're supposed to, on what you're supposed to do. They help you learn your job duties and things like that. So I have obviously worked at multiple facilities throughout my tenure as a CNA, if you want to call it that. And so I have encountered numerous different preceptors, and each preceptor kind of has their own style of training, and some of them are very helpful, I've found, and some of them are really not. So the first one that I'm going to talk to you about is the one that just expects you to do everything for them. So I have worked at a couple of facilities where preceptors that I've had, they just, for whatever reason, they think that since they have an orientee with them, that this means they just get to sit there and do nothing. So they expect their orientee to do everything for them. So if somebody needs changed, they're making you change them. I've had some of them like this who will come into the room with you, and some of them who will just sit there at the nurse's station or wherever the CNAs are sitting, and they'll just say, "Oh, she needs to be changed, go change her." And I find this to be a little bit nonsensical, because if you are a new CNA or if you're unfamiliar with certain residents, you might not know about the resident, obviously, because if you're new to the facility, if you've never encountered this resident before, how are you supposed to know, like, what kinds of things to look out for? Like, some people may be combative, they may not have like an easy time turning a certain way, or there may be just certain tips and tricks that you need to know about specific people to make changing them or getting them dressed for bed or getting them up in the morning, or taking them to meals or feeding them. This is stuff that you need to know so that it can make your job easier, and also not just make your job easier but make things easier on the resident. So I don't really like it when my preceptor just expects me to do everything for them. Like, I'm totally fine with if we do a round together, like at the beginning of the shift, we do a round together, and that way I know certain things about the people that I'm taking care of. So then, like, say second round comes and we split it, or one of us will do this round, the next person will do this round. I think it's better to equally share the responsibilities once you know about your residents and things of that nature, because then it makes it easier on the preceptor and also on the orientee. So that's type one. The other type is the type that won't let you do anything. I have encountered these as well, where for whatever reason, since these residents are on this person's assignment, they just want you to sit there and watch. And sometimes it feels really, really awkward, because there are times when I have encountered this, and the resident is like, "Well, why are they just standing there watching you change me?" Or, "Why are they just standing there watching what you're doing?" Um, and sometimes they may think that, the preceptor needs someone to watch them because they're not doing something correctly, or, I don't know what goes through residents' minds, but I would imagine that it's very awkward to have somebody watch you be changed, um, or watch you being fed, or watch you in the shower, whatever the case may be. I just think it would be awkward to have somebody standing there watching everything that's being done to you. But again, it just happens to be that some CNAs, like when they have their assignment, they don't want anybody else to interact with their patients unless it's the nurse. Um, and I've had that not just as CNA preceptors, but just CNAs in general, where they don't want you to go into their room. They don't want you to turn the call lights off. They don't want you to bring them water, anything. They want to do everything themselves, which I guess to each their own. People have their own ways of doing things, but it is what it is. And my favorite type, this is the third type. I only have 3 to share with you today. My favorite type of CNA preceptor is somebody who, like I said before, will give you like an overview of every patient or resident. They will let you know the tips and tricks. So then when you're on your own, you know these tips and tricks. Like, for example, at my current job, I have a stack full of papers like this, and this is all of the information about the residents that are on the units that I have trained for so far. Um, Last night at work, I did a little bit on memory care, but they're not having me go over to memory care on a consistent basis. They want me on assisted living, so that's where I'm going to be, as far as I know. But I just like having the tips and tricks, knowing little things about people that will make my job easier. And also, with this type of preceptor, I like the fact that once I kind of have a grasp on what I'm supposed to do, which rooms I need to go into to change them, or, wellness checks, things like that, we kind of split the work, or we like do everything together. So then, it's not just one person doing everything. You're not just standing there and not able to interact with the patients or residents. You're not like doing everything for the person. Or like last night when we were getting people up and starting to do like the final rounds, my preceptor last night, she went and did someone's shower, and got him up, and then I went and got another woman up for the day. So, it just, to me, a preceptorship, um, or like training when you're going through orientation, I feel like, you know, it's okay to be a mix of all 3 types, but you have to make sure that if you are a preceptor, that you're giving your orientee the knowledge that they need in order to be successful during their work life. It doesn't really help if you don't ever let anybody do anything. It doesn't help you, because then when this person is on their own and they're not on orientation anymore, then they're really not going to know what to do. So, I don't know. Let me know if there's any other types of preceptors that you have encountered if you're a CNA or a nurse, or, you know, I don't know. But yeah, let me know if you've encountered any other types of preceptors. Which one of these 3 do you prefer? Which one of these 3 are you? And yeah, I will talk to you guys again in my next video.